I'm going to get my shoes muddy again and get told off by the people in the office. Never mind. Hi, it's me again. And I was hoping to have a little walk around Promenade Park in Malden today, but it's packed. Absolutely packed down there. The kids must be off or something. They had a petting zoo down there and everything today. I've never seen that before. I'm not around this way much apart from working, am I? So I've got a couple of stories to talk about. Not a long one today, but the main one I want to talk about has quite angered me a little bit. Oh, this is really muddy down. I've got to get off this path. It's really made me quite angry. Hold on, I've got to get off this mud. It is funny.
It's not funny.
Film it.
No, shame, really.
Honestly. Oh, it's all on my back and
Poor woman fell over in the mud. She's got it all up her back and everything, and she's got to go home, change her trousers. So as I was saying, the story came in today. It's really annoyed me. I thought we could talk about it today. How I find out about all my TV license stuff is Google Alerts, right? So you can go on Google, you can set an alert for keywords, and it will email you when it finds something interesting. So this is part of the email that I got this morning. Have a look. So that's what it looks like. It's from Google, right? An MSN article quoting a woman's name, who I'm going to remove, obviously, pleaded guilty to using a colour television without. So let's have a look at the story, right? So first thing you see when you open the story, on msn.com, there's a TV licence, detector van. So in the woman's name, I've removed it, from somewhere in Wales I can't pronounce, pleaded guilty to using a colour television without a licence on May the 27th, 2021. So it's not exactly a recent thing. That must be how long it took to get through the court now. A bit backed up, wouldn't they? Be less backed up if they didn't have TV licence offences being heard in court. But anyway, she was left with a £214 bill after being prosecuted by TV licensing. The woman of I'm going to remove her address as well. They post her address, right? Was ordered to pay £120 at the magistrate's court, as well as a £60 fine and a £34 victim surcharge. So this is from a local paper, but MSN have picked it up. So the South Wales Argus. That's not okay, is it? Publishing her name and basically her entire address in a local paper, naming and shaming in your local paper, and we're all right with that, are we? And then a TV licence detective van. This is how they keep people scared and keep them paying the licence fee. That perpetrates the myth that vans exist and that you can be caught for watching a colour television without a licence fee. Now, the important things here to talk about are the fine was 60 quid. All right, she had a couple of other bits on there and costs and everything. But on all the letters where they try and scare you, they say the fine is a maximum of £1,000, and they always put £1,000 in big red letters or something, didn't they? 60 quid. That's how much her fine was, 60 quid. But they dragged her name through the local press, which is wrong. It's just so wrong, isn't it? I don't understand how they're allowed to do that. I know it's the court records are public knowledge and all of that. So, I mean, there's no reason why they can't publish it, apart from morally they shouldn't be publishing it, should they? But the other thing is as well, she obviously, well, from the looks of it, she was doing something she shouldn't have been doing, i.e. watching broadcast television without a licence to do so, because that's the ridiculous rule in the country that we live in, right? How did she get caught? It wasn't from that detector van, I can promise you that 100%. That's not how she was caught. How she was caught was being doorstepped by a goon, a door-to-door salesman, a TV licence enforcement officer, whatever you want to call them, and dropping herself in it. Now, you know me, I don't condone watching stuff you shouldn't be watching. If you watch broadcast TV, use iPlayer, all of that, you should pay the licence fee. I'm always saying that. But the only way you can be caught is by talking to them. There is no other way. Talking to them or letting them in, doing something like that. So that's how, I mean, it's disproportionate. What is it? Is it 2/3 of all the prosecutions are women? Is it because they're more likely to talk at the doorstep to somebody, or, you know, they're not as standoffish? Because the goons like to make out like there's something important. And they're not, they're door-to-door salesmen, but they like to pretend or dress and act like they've got some kind of powers, like they're bailiffs or police or something. And they bloody ain't. They ain't. It's made me angry that, well, several parts of it has made me angry that they've named and shamed her with her actual address in a local paper, that MSN have picked it up. What the hell are MSN doing spreading that story? The TV licence detector van in the article, that's annoyed me. Everything about it's annoyed me. And I hate seeing stuff like that. I know they're within their rights to do it if they want to publish that. It's public court records, all of that. It doesn't make it morally right. It's in a local paper. Yeah, I don't like it. Don't like it. What do you think about that? I know I've mentioned stories like that a few times on here, but it's just, TV licensing love it. They love it because it keeps people scared. It keeps people thinking that detector vans are a thing. It keeps people thinking that you must pay it if you watch television, because it doesn't give the true facts. And the only way you can get in trouble for it is by talking to them. But that said, if you do watch or record anything that's been broadcast, use iPlayer, you should pay the licence fee. You know I always say that. All right, let's see if we can cheer ourselves up. I've got this one. This is the world we live in now, right? Just thick people. There's one of these stories a day in the Star, and I know, Daily Star. People are only just realising what WC stands for, despite using public loos for years. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, is it that obscure? I knew what it stood for. Is it that obscure? I was round my mum's a few weekends ago, and she had some game show on. Like, there's a big wheel that span around or something. I think it might have been a BBC show. It's Michael McIntyre presenting it, right? And there was a business question, and they asked the business expert who was on there. It was an ex-person off The Apprentice, right? And the question was, in the FTSE 100, if the SE part stands for stock exchange, what does the FT part stand for? Now, the business expert went with futures trading. It was multiple choice as well. The world's getting a bit thicker, isn't it? Here's the business expert from The Apprentice. Futures trading. I don't know. I have quite a good general knowledge. I'm quite good on a pub quiz. But yeah, it seems like the world's getting thicker, doesn't it? I just thought it was funny. There's one of these every day in the Daily Star, where people don't know what something stands for, and the Daily Star kindly explains to them that it means water closet or something. And this is the last story I want to talk about today, and like I say, just a quick one today. Drivers handed urgent warning before UK-wide test of new phone emergency siren. So yeah, April the 23rd it says that your phone's going to get an emergency broadcast test message, and it's going to make a siren noise, and you won't be able to interact with your phone until you've accepted the message. Is this working all right? I don't like that. I don't like that. I own my phone, and I'm in charge of what it can and can't do, and I don't want government messages that I can't clear and my phone making noises that I don't control on my phone. I don't know. I don't like it. All right, so if you've got an iPhone, you can turn these things off, as I have. I shall show you how to do that now, right? And I'll put the links in the description below if you want to learn how to do it. And I've got it for the Android phone in a minute as well. I'll do iPhone first. So all you got to do is you go into your settings, and then you go into the main notifications area, scroll all the way to the bottom, and it will say government alerts. Just turn it all off. That's what I did. And if you've got, well, I've got it for Samsung, but that should cover most Android phones, right? So in an Android phone, by the looks of it, but I could be wrong, I don't know a lot about them. Settings, and then safety and emergency, or settings, or just search for emergency alerts, or you can go into notifications, then advanced settings, and look for wireless emergency alerts, and then turn them off. I mean, I'm not telling you to turn them off, it's your choice. You do what you like on your own phone, and that's why I'm choosing to turn them off, because I want to do what I like on my own phone. I'm not having it make noises or have a notification that you can't clear, because where does that end, right? They could notify you of something, and by clearing it, possibly you could agree to whatever they've said. It's really muddy. I'm trying to be careful. So if I never receive the message, I can't hit accept to clear it, can I? I'm not saying I'm going down some weird conspiracy path. I don't want these messages. It's the same as, you know, if I'm getting spammed through my email, I'll block them. I don't see how it's any different. That's what I've done. Right, so I've got a few of your comments to go through. Let's have a look. Not many today, so I'm going to be a bit quicker today. So I was on the video when I was in Clacton the other day. How can you live down there and not be into sea fishing? I've dabbled with sea fishing. I don't mind fishing. I used to fish a lot as a kid. Dabbled with sea fishing. But we bought a pub once near here, actually. You can probably see it on the other side of the river. And what was it called? The Mill Beach. It's on like the side of a caravan park. Big pub right on the sea, and it came with a free boat, free fishing boat that neither me at the age of 13 or my dad were qualified to operate. So we found a local fisherman who offered to, you know, go out with us on his boat, and we had to follow him, and then he'll let us sort of drift about for a couple of hours, and then he'll come meet us and we can follow him back in, all using the radio. And it went horribly wrong. Horribly wrong. Like, it was 6 in the morning, the water was awful. His engine broke, so we lost him. Then the radio broke, and yeah, awful. Awful. I mean, it got to the point where that's how worried we were. We looked at each other and we were at the I love you, Dad, I love you, son stage. Because just in case we didn't make it back. So yeah, and they fish. When I spent a lot of time in Spain, they fish a lot on the beach. I never did it. Don't know why. I haven't been fishing for years. Maybe it's something I should take back up, I guess. I don't know. Maybe. Great work, John. Keep fighting the good fight, brother. I cancelled my TV licence a couple of years ago now after coming across your channel. Good lad. See, I love getting messages where I've helped someone. I've always thought that I needed one regardless. Thanks to you, I've saved a few quid, which went straight back into buying a new guitar. Yeah, that's a good use. Good use of a few quid that you got lying about. Would you recommend folks to record any goon visits as an insurance measure against any potential rubbish they might try to present? Yeah, when I first started doing this, my line was, don't harass them, don't be rude, don't record them. Just say no thank you and close the door. And I still stick with half of that, but now film them, yeah, film them. Film them, just in case, because you don't know. I've heard enough horror stories now to know they can make stuff up. And if you filmed it, can't make anything up, can they? And also they have to, it's in their rule book that if someone films them, they have to report it to a superior. So it gives them more paperwork to do. And the more paperwork they have to do, the less time they have to go out and harass people. So yeah, film them, but be polite, don't be gits about it, following them down the road, shouting at them. Just while they're at your doorstep, just record them, just so you've got a record of anything that was said, that's all. TikTok is telling people to turn their phone around the wrong way. It should be horizontal, vertical format plus a huge black area. Yeah, I've been talking about TikTok a lot. No, that does annoy me when you film that way. When I was at the Bublé concert last week with my mum, obviously people watched that. I didn't. I took 2 pictures and 1 video right at the end. I wanted to watch the concert, but everyone else was just watching the concert through their phone, which I thought was just a waste of money because you could have just watched it on your telly, couldn't you, in a year's time or something once it's released. But they're all filming that way up. Now, what are you going to do with that then? You can't watch it on your computer or on your telly nicely, can you, if you filmed it that way up? No, it does make me laugh. My niece does that at family do's and that. The kids, they all film it that way up. It's like your telly in your house ain't that way up, is it? Does make me laugh. Does make me laugh. Oh, that's the other thing I was going to do. Everyone keeps asking me about this camera. So look, I'm going to take a picture of how I'm doing this. There you go. Everyone keeps asking me about the camera. Someone thought I had a drone following me about the other day. Bloody hell. I don't think I could afford a drone that could do that. Yeah, well, I think that'll about cover it for today. What do you reckon? And I've got some more videos to make this week, a few more things to talk about. So leave your comments down below and any ideas for stories and that, and I'll have a look at them. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Nearly at 70k. Ah, so close. Thanks for watching. Ta-da.